when I decided to do this project, I was like, oh my God, it has to be done. And you know how you get, like, when you come up with an idea, it's kind of like the biggest idea in the universe. So I felt like compelled to write this book, but at the same time, I really wanted it to be a community project more so than anything, and a community effort. So I really wanted to bring everyone into it. So one of the things that I did was I did an Indiegogo campaign, which is similar to like Kickstarter. And I was just amazed just how responsive people were. During the month of July, from July 1st to July 31st, we raised about $14,000. And this is from strangers giving $5, $10 to people I don't even know giving $700, $800, because they just felt like, wow, this is something that's needed because they think it would represent the culture well, or just something that they would like to have in our coffre, I guess, so we can pass down for future generations. So in terms of the publishing, it's not that I found a big time publisher that's like, oh my God, I'm willing to take this on, but it was more like, I'm gonna get it done with the support and basically partnership of the community as a whole. And that is a relationship and partnership that's growing on a daily basis, because people continuously reach out that they want, because this book is in the making. Everyone thinks it's here. Like, I'll get calls from Germany. It's like, I hear there's a book. Where is it? And I'm like, it's not here yet. But just, to me, that's very powerful just to see that response. So it is a self-published book, but it's just, like I said, it's really, to me, it's like a community project that's really about like uplifting the food, but the culture and the image of our people in general. Haitian food on the main stage is really a recent phenomenon. Like, I started catering my junior year in school. That was 2002. When I went to Google, I didn't find any Haitian chefs. There weren't anyone really out there doing Haitian food. And when I spoke to other Haitians about catering and doing food, Haitian food or doing food in general, they're like, they saw it as something like manger la caille, like something that happened in the home. So they weren't really putting it out there as haute cuisine as you will see it now. So over the last 5 or 6 or 7 years, you will see like Haiti actually has a foods festival, culinary festival, and they do have chefs that travel from other countries to come. Like right now, there's a chef, and the chef who created that festival, his name is Stéphane Durand, and right now he's in Montreal actually cooking Haitian food with other chefs, and he just came from Ireland because they had like a whole Haiti celebration. So I think now, and that's the only way it can happen, because we had to see it first, that we do have a cuisine, and it's about how we package it to the rest of the world for them to adapt it. So I think that will happen more so over the next few years. It may still be taboo in Haiti, but I think the US has humbled a lot of men in terms of cooking, to be very honest. Actually, I did a whole fellowship on this too. I had a food writing fellowship, and my focus was really like how Haitian men, when they come to the United States, basically how it really does change their perspective on food and cooking and the household in general, because a lot of times their wives are back in Haiti. So who's going to cook? Or their wives work longer hours than they do. Who's gonna cook? They're gonna starve. So it's either chinois or you learn to cook. So I think males here, you'll find, I don't know, I'm sure there's a lot of people who still have that whole machismo culture still exists, but I do think there is this growth. And then, like I said, here in the United States, there is this sense of food as pop culture. It's actually cool to cook. So I think as young kids are raised here, and as these men are reared here and seeing like what society, I think that is changing. And even in Haiti too, I'll be very honest, a lot of men cook. Most people don't cook because the culture is I mean, I guess the answer is the book is not really about, it will touch on like how males and women interact in society, in Haitian society in terms of food, but it's not so much about me telling them they're welcomed in the kitchen. It's really about like depicting what exactly is happening. But like I said, I think there is an interest, so I think they already feel welcomed.
I guess I'm wondering, And then I guess my last question is about the supermarket culture. So one of my cousins actually is a manager for a supermarket. And when we went to that supermarket, I think the first thing I was surprised was there were very few Haitian fruits there. There was very little Haitian food there. Most of the food was imported in containers from France. So as for people who are producing different kinds of foods, like in this market, you could not find rapadou, although it is widely available throughout the country. And you couldn't find many brands of Haitian peanut butter and things like that. So as a caterer, what's your perspective on how people interact with supermarkets and how street food interacts with supermarkets?
That's another thing, like going to Haiti, you're like, what's up with, there's nothing Haitian in Haiti anymore. And, you know, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but like you're saying, like if you go to a supermarket, there's not too many Haitian products. And people just would say things like, it's too expensive to consume the things that are made in the country. And I'm like, okay, how is that possible? You know, but then I guess it's the same thing here, how it's cheaper to eat crap from boxes and cans than it is to buy fresh things. So the process of producing, you know, something in the countryside, they just say, pour des pets, they grow, you know, they're big on banana, or they have this, they have that. So it's cheaper to get it straight from Dominican Republic, you know, because these things are being mass produced as opposed to the little farmer that's growing it on his farm, and then he has to carry it to market, and then it has to come from that market, get to Port-au-Prince. So that is that culture of like just basically consuming imported goods. And I found that so surprising. And even with the chefs, like chefs in Haiti are not Haitian. Like you go to Pétionville, you can't find Haitian restaurants. And I had a big issue with that, but then people said like, you know, there's a whole diaspora culture in Haiti too. So you have to understand there's a lot of non-Haitians living in Haiti, and they're the ones with the money. So when they're the ones with the money, because these people are making US dollars or French francs, you know, they're the ones who are shopping at those supermarkets. And they just basically in Haiti to work or to do whatever business they have to do. So they're not necessarily there. To them, they're eating the Haitian products or Haitian food when they want a little bit of like getaway kind of, but they want that supermarket to have the things that they're used to. So they're catering to that culture as well. So today we're making a sheep dye. So basically started making this recipe, and it's actually one of the most popular items on my catering menu, Haitians and non-Haitians, because probably about 60% of my clientele are non-Haitians. So what I've done is really just like incorporated elements of Haitian cuisine into mainstream. Like I did an event for a gala for Dr. Oz. So what I did was a bulgur wheat salad. So so I found a way to incorporate it in there. So, but this recipe, I never knew it. And when I learned it, I was like, oh my God, I was so. And then Haitians have this thing where like certain foods are not presentable in terms of like maï moulin. They were like, oh, you can't serve maï moulin at a major event. I was like, really? Watch me. So whenever I cater, I'm always trying to demystify these things because I'm like, it's not true. If you view it a certain way, then that's how you're going to depict it, but that's not really the reality. So I would do maï moulin. I'd cut it up into like little flower shapes or little stars, and I'd put a little arroz on top of it and do it as a past appetizer. And they're like, oh my God, this is so delicious. I'm like, yeah, it's my woman. Like, what's your point? So this chic dye thing too, it was kind of like, I don't know, you don't serve that in public. I was like, okay. So this I've kept very traditional, and it's smoked herring, if you don't, and basically it's salted. It's basically smoked. The herring is smoked, and then it's salted to preserve it. Because again, refrigeration is a big issue. So that's how you preserve it. And then you basically soak it overnight and remove some of the salt, the bones, and then I'm gonna show you guys how to make it. And you can eat it with cassava bread, which is what I like to serve it with, but most Haitian household, they'll tend to eat it with like bread, regular bread, or some kind of cracker. But I like to serve it like very traditional things that I grew up with, cassava, so That's what we'll be. How many of you know how to make sheep dye? How many of you have never heard of sheep dye? That's a lot of hands. So basically it's known as a tafiate food. Oh. What that means is like basically when in Haitian households when the guys are playing cards and drinking, dominoes, zig, whatever, they're getting drunk. So basically it's supposed to be very spicy and salty, and that's supposed to help them absorb the liquor better. But you can eat it on any other regular day too, which is what I do.
I usually soak it in a big pot of like much more water, probably like triple the water, so all the salt can get out. Once that happens, I squeeze it out, and then I run water over it again, so about like maybe twice. How much you soak it or how many times you rinse it depend on how you want to make it. I don't like it too salty, because remember, this is already salted. So you are soaking it so you can remove some of the salt. Some people like it a little bit salty, and some people is like, you know what, I want to remove all the salt. I just want the flavor of the herring. Okay, so that depends. I like it a little bit in between, because that salty taste along with the Scotch bonnet taste, that's what really makes sheep dye sheep dye. So we have smoked herring, that's one of our ingredients. Scotch bonnet pepper. You all know what Scotch bonnet pepper is? It's very spicy, way more spicy than a jalapeno, or they call it a habanero pepper, okay? So again, if you don't really want it to be too spicy, remove the seeds, because that's where really the heat is. So if you remove the seeds, you just use the skin, then you have more flavor, okay? And then we have onions. We can't cook without this. And then pepper. You could use whatever colors, really. Green, red. You could use yellow, orange, whatever's in season and cheapest. And that's really it. And then we have here a little bit of lime juice. And you could use, again, vinegar. And that's the thing about cooking, and I always tell people, there's recipes you have, but it's really just as a foundation. Once you understand the structure of a recipe, it's up to you to make it your own. That's what makes cooking fun. That's what makes great chefs. It's about developing your own style. Understanding, you know what, I don't like rice, so let me use blé instead of it. Or I hate blé, let me use something else. You know, so once you understand the bone and structure of it, you can pretty much make it your own. So you want to saute these things together. So onions, peppers, saute. Let those get some color. What you're basically trying to do is saute it, and you want the onions to get what is known as translucent and basically kind of like clear color. So that's how you know it's ready. Kind of like a clear color, the flavors are released, but you don't really want it like mushy and totally cooked or anything like that. Do you guys like heat or no? Mild? Fat up? Okay, so we'll add for flavor. So this, you're gonna add this while these are in the pan because you want to release the flavors. So you're just gonna saute it a little bit, not too much. Okay, so it's clear. Then what's done? What can be said? On nous va ajouter, add your toute la dame. Oh, valez mon ça, what madame tout? Yes. And then you basically want to fold it in because this is a small pot. You have that Simon have your in for your fair cooking glass. So there's a small little pot. But you really want to get a bigger pot so you have more budget. Oh my God, what's in that budget? We give you better care. Thank you, Mayu. You're starting her young. Okay? And that's really what it is. So that's gonna cook. And then you basically flavor. I like to flavor with garlic and onion powder because again, these are like nice and natural flavors in a bottle. But you could use fresh garlic, but actually like the taste of garlic and onion powder because they taste different than fresh. So I like that flavor.
Starting to smell really good.
It is. Gongo. And that's pretty much it. So here you see it has dough in it. Shipta doesn't even really have water. So what you do is, while the herring is cooking, you basically, your aim is to really let it soak up all the water. Because it's usually just the oil. Because remember, you're eating it with bread, so you really don't want, you know this part, right? The tasting. Oh, that's okay. It's perfect. So the adobo, which I didn't add, would be, let's just say you wanted a little bit more of a salty flavor to it. But I don't think it needs it, so it's fine. So pretty simple. You guys can replicate this, right?
Yes.
Who can tell me what's in here?
We forgot the lime juice.
Oh, thank you.
Lime juice.
And you could use vinegar too. So I'm using the lime juice, but you can use thing. Because Haitians, they don't make anything seafood or fish without some acid, some kind. Actually, all the acids. They be like, lavez la vinaigre, rincez, lavez l'encore. Ok, mettez citron. Achetez 2 euros.